How about a little Excel linking with the variable table? Here's a little demonstration part that's been delivered with the software for a very long time. There's some functionality in it though that you may not have noticed if you didn't look very carefully at it. This is a part file that's being driven by an Excel spreadsheet. It has obviously some data in a grid format here, and it's got a big button to you can click to say update solid edge. But what's actually going on here? If we look at the variables table, you will see that there are links to each critical feature that needs to be changed, and the link is referring to the Excel file, the name of the sheet called variable seed, and then it's referring to R1C6, for example, which is row column, typical syntax for referring to an Excel cell. So let's go back to our Excel spreadsheet, take a look at the variable seed, and you'll see that here's our sheet, variable seed, and here's our cells. Now, to create one of these links, it's quite easy. You just start in Excel with it open at the same time, and if you're doing a new Excel, you want to make sure you save that so it knows where it lives on the file system. Now notice what I've done here. I've actually changed the name of the cell from F1 to just the letter F. In fact, you can name a cell anything you want, and that's a more robust way to create these links, because a fatal mistake that some people make is they make a very nice linked Excel spreadsheet, and when they're all done they think, okay, now I'll make it pretty, and they move some cells around and it actually breaks the link back to the solid edge file, because it's referring to a certain row and column, and if you move the data off it, it's just not there anymore. So naming the cells is a nice little trick. If you inserted a row above this and put some color on it to describe to the user what he should be doing, so that's a good advice, I think. So let's go ahead and copy that cell. We get the little marching ants around it, and we'll go to the variables, and that was L. We'll sort this. Actually it was F, wasn't it? So the F, I'm going to go ahead and delete this one, and then you just paste. You need to use paste. Hopefully that shows. Let me scroll here and make sure that that's within the movie frame. You do a paste link, and we should see now a nice simplified link to that Excel. So that's one tip to name your cells before you do your linking. So what actually is going on here with this Excel? Let's go to the developer and look behind the scenes. There is a little bit more going on here. If you read this carefully, you'll see that there's two demonstration paths here. If this little variable flag is set to true, then it's actually going to just use plain old Excel automation and copy the rows from the first sheet onto the second sheet. So let's see how that works. We just come back here to part size. Let's see if I can get this in view. Probably close the variable table. Got my Excel. So if I just select any row and click update, click another one and click update, and then if we look at the variable seed, we'll see that it's actually shoving different values into each cell here. It's just simply using Excel. And the other technique that they demonstrate here, if we set this to false, is that it's actually going to use solid edge automation, which is a little bit more complicated. They first glean the information from the cells that you're selecting, and then they connect to the running instance of solid edge, verifying, of course, and then they refer to the variables table and they populate the variables table. Now, something you just want to be aware of, that when you do that, and we'll come back here and run it again, everything appears to work just as snappily and just as quickly. But when you come and examine your variable table, you'll see that those links have been removed because they do conflict with each other. One is when you start driving your variables directly with code, you can't also have a link to a cell. Somebody's got to win. Something else that may be useful to you if you're making a lot of changes in your Excel spreadsheet and you have links, you may find it a little annoying how it just automatically will update every time you type in a new value in a cell. This is a really good use for turning off the automatic update. It'll allow you to enter many values into your Excel spreadsheet, and then you can come back here and choose update all documents or update active level, and when you're all done, turn your automatic update back on. So that will save it from you having to wait for it to compute possibly on a large data set every time you touch a cell and type in a new value. So that's Solid Edge linking to Excel.